On September 18, 2022, a single forum post appeared on a website called GTA Forums. The username was TipoTuberHacker. The post contained download links to 90 video clips. And within hours, the most secretive project in the entire video game industry was sitting naked in front of the entire world. 90 clips of a game nobody was supposed to see for years. A game so guarded, so locked down, that the company making it had refused to even say its name out loud. Rockstar Games did something they almost never do. The next day, they confirmed it was real. "We recently suffered a network intrusion," they wrote, "in which an unauthorized third party illegally accessed and downloaded confidential information from our systems, including early development footage for the next Grand Theft Auto." The next Grand Theft Auto. They said it. It was real. It existed. And we had just seen it years too early, in a leak so massive that some people called it the biggest hack in the history of gaming. And here's the part that should make the hair on your arms stand up. The person who pulled off one of the most significant breaches in entertainment history did it from a hotel room, with an Amazon Fire TV stick, a smartphone, and a few other gadgets. A teenager, on bail at the time, sitting in a Travelodge, took down the security of a multi-billion-dollar empire. That was almost 4 years ago, and we are still waiting. This is the story of the most anticipated piece of entertainment ever created. Not the most anticipated game. The most anticipated anything. Bigger than any movie. Bigger than any album. A game that broke records before a single second of official footage existed. A game people have been theorizing about, dreaming about, building entire YouTube careers about, for over a decade. So tonight, we're going to answer every question. Why has this taken so long? Why are people genuinely, clinically losing their minds over it? What do we actually know about the story? What are the wild fan theories and conspiracies hiding in plain sight? And what is going to happen to the internet, to the industry, to all of us on the day this thing finally drops? Buckle up, because the story of GTA 6 is stranger than the games themselves. Let's start with the wait, because the wait is the foundation of everything. Grand Theft Auto 5 came out in September 2013. Take a second to sit with that date, 2013. When GTA 5 launched, the iPhone 5 was the newest phone. Barack Obama had just started his second term. TikTok did not exist. The kids who are now old enough to buy GTA 6 themselves were in elementary school. Some of them weren't born. That is the gap. 13 years between mainline Grand Theft Auto games. 13 years. Now the obvious question, why? Why would a company sit on the most valuable entertainment franchise on planet Earth for over a decade? The answer is a combination of 3 things, and they're all kind of fascinating. The first reason is the simplest. GTA 5 made an absurd, almost incomprehensible amount of money. It grossed $1 billion in 3 days. To this day, it is considered one of the most profitable entertainment products of all time, across all media. And the engine that kept it printing money was GTA Online, the multiplayer mode that turned into a money-printing machine that ran for over a decade. When something is making you billions of dollars a year with no signs of stopping, there is very little financial pressure to rush out the sequel. Rockstar could afford to take their time, so they did. The second reason is ambition. And this is where it gets genuinely interesting. Each Grand Theft Auto game has historically tried to be a generational leap, not just a bigger version of the last one. The leaked footage and every credible report since suggests GTA 6 is attempting something almost insane in scope. A living, breathing world where, according to early reports, NPCs will record crimes on their phones, police will track stolen vehicles by their license plates, and the world reacts to you more intelligently than any game world ever has. This is the kind of thing that takes years and a reported budget somewhere between $1 and $2 billion, and by some estimates approaching $3 billion, making it almost certainly the most expensive piece of entertainment ever made. Not the most expensive game. The most expensive anything. The third reason is the messy human one. Rockstar's development of this game has been, to put it kindly, turbulent. There was the 2022 hack. There were reports of the studio scaling back overambitious ideas. There were legal battles. There were waves of employees fired between 2023 and 2025 across the US, UK, and India for allegedly leaking confidential information. Building a game this big, with this much secrecy, with this much pressure, with the entire world watching, is a genuinely brutal undertaking. And it took its toll. So that's why it took so long. Money meant no rush. Ambition meant huge scope. And chaos meant delays. Which brings us to the delays. Oh, the delays. Here is the timeline, and try to feel the emotional whiplash as we go. December 2023. After years of silence, Rockstar finally releases Trailer 1, the reveal everyone had waited for. And it states, right there at the end, coming 2025. The world loses its mind. We have a window. We have Vice City. We have a female protagonist. We are so back. Then, May 2025. Rockstar releases a statement. Grand Theft Auto 6 is now set to release on May 26, 2026. A delay. The first heartbreak. They softened it with a beautifully written apology. We are very sorry that this is later than you expected. The interest and excitement surrounding a new Grand Theft Auto has been truly humbling for our entire team. And to take the edge off, they dropped Trailer 2 a few days later. Okay, May 2026, we can wait a few more months. Fine. Then, November 2025. The gut punch. A second delay. GTA 6 is pushed all the way to November 19th, 2026. Another 6 months. The official reason, in Rockstar's words, these extra months will allow us to finish the game with the level of polish you have come to expect and deserve. Now here's a detail that tells you everything about the power of this game. When that second delay was announced, Take-Two's stock, the parent company, dropped as much as 18% in a single day. 18%. Billions of dollars in market value evaporated because a video game got pushed back 6 months. There is no other entertainment product on Earth where a delay announcement moves the stock market like that. None. And the delays have a strange psychological effect on the fanbase. Every time the game is delayed, the disappointment is immediately followed by a kind of grim acceptance. And then, somehow, the hype gets even bigger. It's like the game has become a black hole. The longer we wait, the more massive its gravity becomes, the more it pulls everything toward it. Take-Two's CEO, Strauss Zelnick, has repeatedly gone on record to calm everyone down. As recently as early 2026, he confirmed the November 19th date is on track and said, and I'm quoting him here, "We feel great about it." A former Rockstar developer named Mike York put it more bluntly to Esports Insider. There's a point to where you delay something so much that you start to make people angry. In other words, this is happening. They cannot delay it again without a riot. Let's talk about the insanity, because the level of obsession around this game has crossed into territory that is honestly kind of beautiful and kind of unhinged at the same time. Start with the trailers. Trailer 1, released in December 2023, broke the record for the most viewed non-music video in 24 hours on YouTube. It pulled over 90 million views in a single day, demolishing the previous record held by a MrBeast video. It racked up 8.9 million likes, becoming the most liked video game trailer in history. As of right now, Trailer 1 sits at over 281 million views on Rockstar's official channel alone. Trailer 2 is sitting at around 165 million. That's nearly 500 million views between two trailers, before counting reposts, reactions, and frame-by-frame breakdowns. Then, just a few days ago, on June 18th, 2026, Rockstar did something tiny. They didn't release gameplay. They didn't release a trailer. They released the cover art, a single static image, and announced that pre-orders begin June 25th. A picture. They posted a picture. and it racked up millions upon millions of views across platforms within 48 hours. People made hour-long analysis videos about a piece of cover art. People zoomed into individual pixels. People wrote essays about the box art for a game that isn't out yet. And this is the thing you have to understand about the GTA 6 fanbase. There is a subreddit, r/GTA6, with hundreds of thousands of members, where for long stretches the single most upvoted activity was people posting about the fact that there was nothing to post about. They were counting the days. They were posting screenshots of the trailer they'd seen 10,000 times. There were running jokes about checking the oxygen levels at Rockstar HQ to make sure the developers were still alive and working. The community was, by its own admission, starving. And here's my favorite detail in this entire story, the one that proves how big this is. The investment bank Piper Sandler, an actual serious Wall Street firm that advises people on where to put millions of dollars, built a financial model to predict GTA 6's sales. And do you know what data they used? The traffic of the GTA 6 subreddit. That's right. A Wall Street bank is now using the number of people refreshing a Reddit page as a serious economic indicator. They literally took the weekly visitor count of r/GTA6 and used it to predict that the game could sell up to 46 million copies on launch day. We'll come back to that number because it's absurd. But just sit with this. Reddit obsession has become a measurable financial metric. That is where we are. Okay, let's get into the meat. What is this game actually about? Because beneath all the hype, Rockstar has quietly told us a lot. GTA 6 takes place in the state of Leonida. If that sounds made up, it is, but you already know it. Leonida is Rockstar's fictional version of Florida, and at the heart of it sits Vice City, their version of Miami, returning for the first time since the classic 2002 game. Neon lights, beaches, pastel sunsets, swamps, alligators, the most beautifully chaotic state in America, recreated and exaggerated into Rockstar's signature satire. But the real story is the two people at the center of it. For the first time in the history of mainline Grand Theft Auto, you play as two protagonists in a duo, and one of them is a woman. Her name is Lucia Caminos. The other is Jason Duval. Lucia is a genuine first. She is the first major, non-optional, voiced female protagonist in the entire history of mainline GTA. According to Rockstar's official site, she grew up in Liberty City, their version of New York, before ending up in Leonida, where she was incarcerated at the Leonida Penitentiary for a crime connected to, in their words, fighting for her family. When the story begins, she's fresh out of prison, looking for a better life. Jason is an ex-army grunt who got pulled into the drug trade, trying to pull off one last score to get out. And here's the premise, in Rockstar's own carefully chosen words, which the entire community has analyzed like scripture. Jason and Lucia have always known the deck is stacked against them. But when an easy score goes wrong, they find themselves on the darkest side of the sunniest place in America, in the middle of a criminal conspiracy stretching across the state of Leonida, forced to rely on each other more than ever if they want to make it out alive. A Bonnie and Clyde story, a crime romance, two people against the world, falling in love, falling into chaos, in a sun-drenched neon paradise that's rotting from the inside. It sounds romantic, it sounds beautiful, and the fans think it's going to end in absolute heartbreak. Which brings us to the theories. This is where it gets fun, because the GTA community has spent years dissecting every single frame of every trailer, every screenshot, every word on Rockstar's website, hunting for clues. And some of what they've found is genuinely unsettling. Let's start with the big one, the betrayal theory. When Rockstar released the second trailer, they also dropped 70 new screenshots on their website. And eagle-eyed fans zoomed into one specific image, a tender, intimate moment where Lucia and Jason are hugging. Sweet, right? Except, look closer. In Lucia's hand, behind Jason's back, where he can't see it, is a gun. A Reddit user named CD Acosta97 pointed to the character descriptions on Rockstar's own website as backup. Lucia's description says she is committed to her plan, no matter what. Jason says that meeting Lucia could be the best or worst thing to ever happen to him. Another Redditor, various_joke9992, summed up the community's dread perfectly. Rockstar is gonna rip our hearts out with the ending, I think. Betrayal incoming. And honestly, they have a point. Rockstar has a long, brutal history of devastating betrayals. The ending of GTA 5. The entire tragic arc of Red Dead Redemption 2. These are people who know exactly how to make you love a character and then absolutely destroy you. So the theory goes, Jason genuinely falls in love. Lucia exploits that love, and the game ends in a final tragic betrayal where only one of them walks away. But wait, it gets deeper. Because there's a competing theory that flips the entire thing on its head. The Jason is a cop theory. A whole section of the fanbase believes Jason isn't a regular criminal at all. They think he might be an undercover cop or a police informant. Their evidence? It's the kind of obsessive detail that only this fanbase produces. They point to his clothing. His cargo pants apparently resemble the real-life uniform of the Miami SWAT team. They point to the way he wears his watch on the inside of his wrist, which they claim is a military habit. They point to his posture, his body language, his ex-army background. One popular theory even suggests Jason might be Lucia's former parole officer. Think about what that would mean. If Jason is law enforcement, the entire Bonnie and Clyde romance becomes a ticking time bomb. He falls for the woman he's supposed to be informing on. The betrayal could come from either direction. Either she's using him or he's using her, and both of them are falling in love in the middle of a lie. And the cover art has its own secrets. When the first cover art dropped, fans immediately decrypted it. One Reddit user, going by the tech potato chip, posted a clean breakdown. They spotted what appears to be an ankle monitor on Lucia, the kind law enforcement puts on people under house arrest, suggesting her early freedom in the game might be restricted. They noticed a building in the background with 3 round window panels, which they claimed was a direct reference to the chainsaw scene from Scarface, the movie that practically invented the Vice City aesthetic. Now, are all these theories true? Almost certainly not all of them. This is the same fanbase that, and I want to be honest with you here, once convinced itself the game was about to be revealed based on the number of leaves on a tree in a screenshot. This community will find a conspiracy in a parking lot. But that's exactly what makes it beautiful. Rockstar leaves these tiny, ambiguous breadcrumbs, and an army of millions spends years arguing about what they mean. It's the largest collaborative detective project in entertainment history, and it's all powered by a trailer and some screenshots. So let's talk about the day. November 19th, 2026. What actually happens when this thing finally comes out? First, the money, and the numbers are clinically insane. GTA 5 sold approximately 11.2 million copies on its launch day back in 2013. That was already one of the biggest entertainment launches ever. Now the predictions for GTA 6. That Wall Street bank, Piper Sandler, using their Reddit traffic model, predicts GTA 6 could sell up to 46 million copies on day one. Day one. That would be more than 4 times GTA 5's launch. At a price point of $70 to $80 per copy, that's somewhere in the neighborhood of $3 billion in gross revenue. In a single day. The game could nearly pay back its entire multi-year, multi-billion-dollar development budget in 24 hours. To put that in perspective, the current confirmed record for the biggest day one launch in video game history, after GTA 5, belongs to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, with 6.5 million copies. GTA 6 is predicted to do 7 times that. One analyst firm, DFC Intelligence, projected that GTA 6 could generate over $1 billion in pre-orders alone before the game even comes out, and $3.2 billion in its first year. Even Ned Luke, the actor who played Michael in GTA 5, predicted $1.3 billion in revenue on the first day. His exact words: "They're going to blow our numbers away." But the money is only half of it. The other half is the cultural event. And this is where I want to be honest with you about what the launch is actually going to look like, because it's going to be a spectacle. The servers will crash. I can almost guarantee it. The demand is going to be so monstrous that storefronts, download servers, and especially the online mode are going to buckle under the weight. People have already booked time off work. There are folks planning their annual leave around a video game release that's still months away. The internet is going to completely lose its mind, and not all of it in good ways. And here's where I have to keep it real with you. The moment this game launches, your feed is going to be an absolute landfill of the most ridiculous content imaginable. Within about 6 hours, you will see a thumbnail screaming, "I played 100 hours of GTA 6 free roam." Buddy, the game's been out for 6 hours. What are you talking about? You'll get GTA 6 full ending explained before anyone has legitimately finished a 60-hour story. You'll get 10 things Rockstar doesn't want you to know, which will be 10 things Rockstar literally put in a trailer. You'll get "Is GTA 6 a disappointment?" videos, posted by people who are mad they didn't get enough engagement, written before the game even installed. The rage bait machine is going to run at full power. Just know it's coming, and know that 90% of it is people trying to surf the biggest wave the internet has ever seen. And then, underneath all that noise, the actual thing happens. Millions of people all over the world step into Vice City at the same time. And for a few weeks, the entire internet is going to be about one thing and one thing only: your group chats, your timeline, every streamer, every clip. It's going to feel like the whole world is playing the same game at the same time, which, in a fractured, divided internet, is a genuinely rare and kind of wonderful thing. And then there's the long tail. Because here's the secret about Grand Theft Auto. The launch isn't the end of the story. The launch is the beginning of the next decade. Remember, GTA 5 came out in 2013 and was still making serious money in 2025 because of GTA Online. GTA 6 will almost certainly follow the same path. The single-player story, however incredible it turns out to be, is the opening act. The real long game is the online mode, which Rockstar will support, update, and monetize for years and years. The people buying this game in November 2026 may very well still be playing it in 2036. There's also the platform question. GTA 6 is launching exclusively on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles. No PC version at launch. PC players, as always, have to wait. Historically, Rockstar releases the PC version a year or more later, so most expect a PC port somewhere in 2027 or 2028. If you're a PC player, I'm sorry. You know the drill. You always have to wait. It's tradition at this point. So here we are. After 13 years, 2 trailers, a record-shattering leak pulled off from a hotel room, 2 heartbreaking delays, a piece of cover art that got more attention than most movies, and an entire fan base that turned waiting into an art form, we are finally, genuinely almost there. Pre-orders on June 25th. Launch on November 19th. And now I want to hear from you, because this is your game as much as anyone's. So drop your answers in the comments. Number 1. The betrayal theory. Do you think Lucia betrays Jason? Jason betrays Lucia? Or do they both go down together in a final blaze of glory? Who's holding the gun at the end? Number 2. Is Jason an undercover cop? Genius theory? Or has the fan base finally lost its mind staring at cargo pants? Number 3. That 46 million copies on day 1 prediction. Real, or is Wall Street getting high on Reddit fumes? How big do you actually think launch day gets? Number 4. And be honest, have you already planned to take time off when this drops? Are you pre-ordering on the 25th? Or are you going to wait, read the reviews, and stay strong? And number 5, the big one. After 13 years of waiting, after all this hype, all these theories, all these delays, is it actually possible for any game to live up to this? Can GTA 6 possibly be as good as we need it to be? Or have we built it up so high in our heads that reality doesn't stand a chance? Drop your theories. Drop your hype. Drop your most unhinged predictions. Because in a few months, we find out if the most anticipated game in the history of the world was worth the wait. I think it will be. I've thought so since a teenager in a hotel room accidentally showed us the future 4 years ago. The deck has always been stacked against Jason and Lucia. In November, we finally get to play the hand.